Am I live? How, how, how? Okay, I believe I am. I believe I am live. Good day, everybody. Wave, wave. Please, if you can hear me, let me know, especially on Instagram. I see people are joining. Hey, Prince. Thank you for joining. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. Gosh, it's been so long I did this. I feel out of place, actually. I don't know. It's been ages. It's been like what, over 2 years now, I think. So I really feel out of place. And because I may still be rusty, apologies in advance. And I think that's why I really have not shared this and promoted it, because I'm just thinking if I flop, at least it would only be few people that will be aware of that. But yeah, so hopefully it's not going to be a long one. I'm actually having a headache. I don't feel well. I'm having a headache, but I didn't want to cancel because I'd already put this out there and said I was going to do it. So I promised myself I will still try and just do this. And again, part of why I didn't promote it or even share it or anything like that, because I don't want to disappoint people. So that being said, I tweeted about me and my experience of being in the UK a while ago. I think 2 or 3 days ago, and I think it really resonated with a lot of people. And that actually got me thinking that the reason why that resonated, or one of the reasons why that happened, is because of how much effort I had put in. Obviously, a lot of people, I'm sure, are putting effort as well. And I just wanted to have this space to encourage, others, or to encourage people in general in regards to when you come into the UK as an international student, from you studying and doing everything that you can around your program, how do you seize opportunities that are around you, that are available for you to be able to make the most of it? And hopefully one day, you can even tweet something better than whatever I think I have achieved, because I know I am nowhere near where I want to be. It's still a journey. And so, you can even do better than I've done. I can think over the years how much of other opportunities that if I had known right now, I would have sort of like tried to still, harness and seize them and make the most of it. So that being said, I just wanted to share my experience of being in the UK all these years, the opportunities that I've used, what is now available. Because when I came then, it was, really challenging. I would honestly say it's a lot difficult than what we have now. It's a lot more difficult. In some aspects, of course, some aspects I would say it's a bit better. But I really just wanted to have a short one to talk to people about opportunities, especially, or in addition, maybe not especially, but in addition, those that are thinking of, coming to the UK. I know there's a lot of stories around on social media about some people are regretting why they've come to the UK and all of these things. And I think if you, even though the environment may not be as conducive for everybody, but if you look at opportunities that are available, I believe it's still a very good investment. It's still an investment that you will, be thankful for. Yeah. So without further ado, like I said, I'm hoping this won't be too long. I will just get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is, as soon as you come in, and this is for those that are already in or those that are thinking of coming in. Um, there's no reason why you can't plan ahead. So as soon as you come in, I think the first thing I would say is in regards to seizing opportunities and, making the most of your time while you're in the UK. Again, I say this because I know some people, UK is like a stop for other places that they want to go. Some people have their eyes targeted at, especially North America, Canada, USA, whatever. So if you find yourself in the UK the first thing you want to do is to network. It's very, very important that you have a huge network base. And that means you try to assess people and get information, because that is how you're going to know what is going on. So the first part is to actually start with people around you, people closest to you. When I came to the UK, I think I tweeted it again a few days ago. I did not have one single UK number in my phone when I traveled down here. So I had nobody. I didn't know anyone. I had no one prior to coming to UK that I know is living in the UK. I didn't know anybody. So, but I know now it's a lot easier because you have quite a lot of people have come in. So you may have people around you that you know directly. If not, social media. Social media is a huge platform. So people like myself and others that are talking about some of these things, their experiences, you can harness and assess them. So the first part, like I said, is people around you. So that means family and friends that you know that are already in UK, asking them about opportunities. And when I say opportunities, it's not just regarding your studies, it's not just about you passing. We want you to pass your, your modules, your exam, all these things. But in addition to that, opportunities, career opportunity, life opportunities, how do you build yourself while you're studying so that by the time you finish, hopefully you would have a huge portfolio to actually present to people. So you are asking people around you. You should be very active on social media, on platforms like this, where you are able to get more information about things that are going on. I tweeted just this evening, I tweeted about an opportunity, a job opportunity that is open. And I think it's going to be very, very, it would align really well for someone that is an international student. They are looking, a recruiter is looking for international student recruitment officer, and the pay is so good, it's over £30,000, which means they most likely will sponsor visa. And because it's recruiting international student, you as an international student will be a very good fit. And in that tweet, I did say some of the things that you should think about or look out for if you're going to get that kind of job. You want to, and this brings me to the next part around opportunities. You want to seize opportunities that are within your campus. So outside your outside your network, social media, your friends, family, you want to seize opportunities that are within the campus setting. So a lot of the times you see students are not even aware of the opportunities that are on campus, and that's something you want to assess. So most schools would have career team in the university, and they are there for you to assess them 101%. You can go there over and over again. In fact, they should know you. The more they know you, the better, because opportunities will come. They will most likely just send to you because they are aware of you. They can help with CV writing. So I see a lot of, us we come in with, CV that are kind of like formatted to the country that we're coming from, and they may differ slightly in presentation for UK setting. So if you go to this enterprise team, they will be able to help you redesign your CV cover letter to something that is more acceptable and fitting for UK setting. So that's another thing. So you want to assess opportunities that are within the university. Now, schools also offer job part-time sometimes, and some maybe seasonal roles, which you also want to assess. So those jobs are there for most time they are there for students. So things like student ambassador, some research opportunities, research assistant roles with lecturers or with departments, some evaluation, very short. Sometimes they can be short, few months, but they are there for students to assess. Again, some of these opportunities, they go by without students really being aware of it. But these are things that you want to be aware of or you want to check. Again, messaging, most likely, I say this very loosely, but most likely you may have career or employability officer in your university, most likely, or in universities. I say your university for those that are not yet in the country. In UK universities, most likely you would have career or employability officer. So this is this will be someone that will be very, very important in assessing valuable opportunities. Most time, that kind of individual will be sharing job roles in that area that they are representing, and you want to assess or look into them as you go on. Other thing you want to do again, of course, is look at applying for jobs online. So where you're looking at huge platforms, or these platforms that are they carry a lot of job roles. They are huge in terms of job database. So things like Indeed, you want to really assess them, subscribe to them if possible, so that you're aware of job that are coming up and you're able to look at it. Local councils. So sometimes you would have local councils in environments or communities that are employing, and they most likely sometimes will take students for full-time or even part-time role, depending on the opportunities that are available. They also would have internship for international students. So you can have internship and apply for those as well. So keep an eye on your local council is what I'm saying. And depending on how far you're able to travel, it doesn't have to be local council close to you. It could be places around you that you can expand your territory and look at opportunities that may be available. So that being said, other places that you can look at is like Track. I know Track, you can get quite good job if you're looking for. You can look at Track, you can look at Indeed. I've mentioned Reed, Glassdoor. All of these databases, they carry quite a lot of opportunities, both those that are directly related to your field and some that you may just use transferable skills to get those opportunities. The other thing to mention is the fact that you can actually look at doing some, what's it called now? Some electoral activities in your university. So like being a student body representative. I remember when I was doing my PhD, I was the PG rep or PGR rep for my university or for my faculty, which obviously then translates to the university at that time. And that really helped me in getting information around things that are available to students. So when I was doing that, I remember that was when I was able to get some teaching roles in the university when I was doing my PhD. So I was able to get teaching roles, all of which I wrote in my application, my CV, for jobs, and thankfully I was able to get employed as soon as I finished. So that's also something you want to consider or look into. See student representative opportunities that will build you up to other opportunities later on. The other thing is sabbatical opportunity. So students sabbatical body representative. Of course, this one is sort of like the student union. And so that means you will be elected, people would vote and you would be elected into office. But I do know this is something that gives students a huge platform to assess opportunities if they assess it. So that's also something that you can think about as an international student. NHS job. Ooh, this is big. Obviously, if you're around health, and it doesn't even directly have to relate to health, things like IT, business analytics, all of these other, even engineering, biomedical sciences, so many opportunities are available within the NHS. I was looking at the NHS website a few days ago, I think, and I saw that NHS actually pull out, according on the website, I'm not saying this without evidence. On the website, they said they have over 25,000 roles every month. So they roll out about 25,000 roles every month. So that's a huge platform that you can access. And I'm going to tweet out the vacancy website, or the link actually, so that people can just access. What I would say is subscribe to it if you can, or just continue to continue to check regularly because these things are updated. These sites are updated frequently for you to get opportunities that are available over there. The other thing I would say, aside from job, I know job is, it's very, very important. You can volunteer. Volunteering, whew, what can I say? Volunteering is something that I know we come in to study and we are pressed for cash, and that is absolutely essential that you get something that will pay you as soon as you come in. But you also don't want to downplay the impact or the importance of volunteering. So if you can volunteer, I would advise you start looking as soon as you enter the country, you start looking for opportunities to volunteer. You can volunteer with lecturers, depending on if they've got projects going on. You can volunteer across university, and you can volunteer with organizations outside your university. Most time they may require reference even for volunteering role, especially some organizations, they may require. That is something that your tutor, your lecturers can help you with. I have written so many, I can't count how many references I've written for volunteering roles that students have been able to secure. The thing is, you don't have to dedicate a whole lot of time. All you need is probably maybe a few hours in a week. And that is going to translate significantly into local experience that these employers are looking for. They want to see that you have local experience, and sometimes you do not have to make, you have to sacrifice. Sorry, you do have to sacrifice some of your hours to be able to secure those opportunities. I think the other thing I would probably talk about outside volunteering is the fact that you need to attend conferences. If you're a student, I would advise, and you're really interested in looking at opportunities or looking for opportunities within your field, I would really advise that you attend conferences, seminar sessions, conferences around your area, your field. And the way you will get them, and I think this is bringing me to my next opportunity key point, which will be that you should try and be member of professional groups in your field. It will be very, very valuable if you can be members. And most of them, they have student membership. They are usually discounted. I was going to say now, most of them, you will pay for it. And I know, when we talk about money, it's not something we want to consider because, again, we're trying to be conservative. I understand. But sometimes it's an investment. Sometimes it will be down payment for something bigger coming in. So look at your field. As soon as you're getting on your program, what are those professional bodies that you can join as a student of that, field? Now, once you join those professional bodies, what they will do is they will be sending you newsletter updates on what is actively happening within that field. You would know what are, the key areas that are important. You can even write, for example, you can write your assessment in relation to some of those areas that you think, oh, okay, I'm saying that, for example, there's a lot of mental health discussion. Sorry, I'm using health example because that's the field that I'm in, but you get the idea. So maybe there's a lot of mental health discussion in the newsletter or in the messages sent by the professional body. You can decide to write and do more research in that area. So your work, that your assessment that you're doing in class is geared towards that area so that you're better fitted for the key things that are happening in your field. So you can do that. So definitely joining a professional body. Virtually every field, I want to believe, would have one or more professional bodies that is representing their field. I do know for public health, again, I'm being a little bit biased because that's what I know. I know for public health in the UK, there is the Royal Public Health Society or Royal Society for Public Health. And I know there is Faculty for Public Health. The Faculty of Public Health, that may be something different that we can talk about in a different conversation. because that one you're not going to be member just by payment. But the Royal Society for Public Health, you can actually join them by payments. For example, I do some of my research in diabetes, and so I'm part of Diabetes UK society. So I'm a member of Diabetes UK. So research, grant opportunities, and some of these things are sent to me, and I'm kind of like updated about what's happening. So you want to do that as a student. Like I said, most of these professional bodies have student membership, and they are usually discounted. So for example, for the Diabetes UK, I pay £38, and that's for full membership for the year. So for student member, I don't know exactly how much you pay, but I know it will be really discounted. So you want to do that. Currently, I think a few days ago, I received an email from Diabetes UK. They are already putting out abstract call for the next Diabetes UK conference, which is happening next year, I think March. They usually have it around March, April. So I've gotten that email. And so if I'm a student and I want to present in this conference, I can start putting my abstract together and submit it. I may have done maybe my assessment and maybe I did really well, and I can push that out there for presentation. It may be poster presentation. It does not have to be oral presentation. But if you're not part of these groups as society member, you may not be able to access this information. And these are opportunities that really would grow your career. And again, if you go to these conferences, huge opportunity, because you have thousands of people, you have researchers, you have academics, you have, those that are interested in practice, you have professional practitioners in these conferences that are attending. And this is a huge opportunity that you can network and get people that would give you information about how to become, part of their opportunities. Generally, just be part of opportunities that are going on. I would also say that if you can identify companies in your field. So as soon as you're coming in, you decided I'm going to study blah 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 course, whatever the course is, I would advise that you start identifying who are the employers, the big guys, the big employers in this area. You need to list them out. Be very, very, very committed to this. So who are those people that you would like to work with, or that you would like to, even if it's intern with them or whatever it is, you want to know these companies. And as soon as you are able to, you want to join them. But the way you can join them most likely would be if you start to kind of like have some relationship with them. And having that relationship would be, for example, you subscribe to their newsletter and you're able to keep up to date with what is going on. It's so very interesting when sometimes, someone gets job interview, and then that's when they are researching, because, or this, even before even they get job interview, maybe they just see the job advert and then they now start researching the company. That's when you start, this company, and then you start finding out, what are they about? But if you had subscribed to their newsletter, over time, all you had to do is just consider, remember the things that you've been aware of about their company, and just use that to build up. It's a lot easier when you have residual knowledge of something than when you're trying to, grasp everything in a very short time in preparation for interview. So what I would say is definitely keep on top of things in terms of subscribe and be aware of what's happening in your field of study. Like I said, just to recap, join professional bodies, student membership are available, local authorities, you can access those for opportunities as well. Your university itself, you most likely would have employability lead. You want to know who that person is and be very familiar or be conversant with messages and information that they send out. And you can also contact them for support if you need specific support. You can volunteer. That's also something else I mentioned. Do volunteer, because that is also a good way of getting opportunities and seizing those opportunities as they may come around. You also want to think about, within the university itself, you want to think about opportunities, like volunteering again for maybe research opportunities within the university. You want to, if you can, be student rep. Again, it would depend on your interest and what your interest is. If you're not interested in anything that has to do with, within the university, then you may not want to volunteer. But you can volunteer if needed. Okay, I see someone is, I'm just going to approve that, but let me just finish my wrap up and then we can ask me question. I will try and answer as much as I can. So yeah, you want to volunteer if if possible, try and volunteer. I've mentioned that within the school and also outside school. And like I said, you can absolutely request support for references to reference for reference for your applications from your university. Usually there will be people that would be in charge of doing that. But if not, you can just identify somebody and ask them. Hopefully they are willing to do that. What else did I say again? I mentioned that you can look at job opportunities online. Again, this is something people do, but you can look at job opportunities online, the NHS, the databases like Track, like Indeed, Read. Some of these database or platforms are huge for opportunities. If I said all of this and I left out my own field, if you're interested in lecturing, and you want to further, or if you're just interested in, progressing and further your, if you're further your, what's it called now? Your studies. Yeah. So maybe not just job. If you want more in terms of your studies, you can look at places like jobs.ac.uk. They carry huge database of PhD opportunities. Most of them are funded or partly funded or fully funded. So you can also look at that if that's of interest. So it doesn't just have to be, job and employment related. It can also be progression in terms of academic progression. And maybe when you finish your PhD, you can join us in academia, and the rest of that. So it's been a very quick run through of some of the things I think you should do as an international student that can help you gain opportunities in the UK. Or this doesn't, really have to be just within UK. It can also be outside UK, any country that you are in. And even if you have not traveled yet, these are things that you can consider even in your home country, depending on, what environment you find yourself. So that being said, some of these things I did, I volunteered. I've mentioned that. I went to conferences. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I actually went to conferences, actually, a few of them, and I presented in one and this was me as a master's student before I even got into academic role or in academia at all. I remember I also forgot. Oh, I almost forgot. You can also apply for grants. So there are some student grants that are available. Very, very important. Especially if you're going for conferences, there are grants that are available that you can apply for. You will not pay a dime to go for these conferences and present, or even just attend. You don't have to present. The better if you present, but just even attendance and putting that on your CV can make a huge difference when you start to either apply for jobs or you want to progress in your academic journey. So when I was doing mine, I remember I got a grant from Santander. Santander is one, platform. They really support students and student growth. And it's open to all students so long as you are a student of a university. So Santander will give you, I remember I got £1,000. So Santander will give you, really good money for you to either attend conference or do research collaboration or something like that. And all of that goes on your CV. So when I was applying for my PhD scholarship, these are the things that I put on it, and they really helped me. I put that I attended conference and I presented at the conference. It was actually one of the conferences I presented at was a Nigerian students conference. I don't know if it's still going on now, but it was a big conference. We all went. It was in Sheffield. And I put that on my CV in the application, my personal statement when I was writing for the PhD scholarship, and also the Satanda grant. So you will have most of these. Again, this is part of why you need to join some of these societies, because they usually would have student grants, and they also have students award that they give students. If you write your dissertation, you can actually present it to some of these bodies, and they have award opportunities or that they roll out, and they award students. Who knows, you may come first, second, or third most of the time. Even just the recognition that you've done a good job with your project and it's been recognized by a society is huge and will really put you apart from other candidates that may either be applying for the job or for scholarship. So that's also another thing that just to mention, that you should significantly or seriously be looking into grant application as soon as you come in. So like I said, it's a quick rundown. I'm actually having a really bad headache. So I'm just gonna, and I mean, those that know me, they know I talk. That's my job. I'm a lecturer, right? I do like to talk, but I don't think I can talk as much as I normally would this evening. So just bear with me that it's a very quick, very fast rundown. And now I'm going to shut up and answer a few questions before I get out. Thank you. So is there anyone that wants to ask me a question? Have I got questions? I'm seeing requests. Okay, approve. If you want to ask question and you're already on the platform, thank you very much. Kindly unmute and just go for it. If not, I would assume all of my quick rush through is well received and well understood. And of course, if you've got questions that is not directly related to what I've just run through, that's fine. I can answer. If I can answer, I will answer. Of course, if I can't, I don't know it, or if I can't, I'll tell you I don't, or we can research it together. We'll learn together. So, any question, comments, addition, removal?
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your efforts, your explanation. My question is, how one can assess postdoc? Bench work during the doctorate program. I don't know how says it. Bench work.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. So generally, bench work again. Okay, so let me just put a disclaimer here. My field, we don't do bench research, so it's not something that I directly am involved in, but I do know colleagues and I know students that are within courses or areas that they need to have bench work. For example, maybe like biomedical sciences, you would have to do bench work. So if it's within, normally the way, if the PhD is funded, right, they will fund it with the bench work fee, with the bench fee. It will be funded. It will be, the estimate will be, it will cover both. It will cover the tuition, the bench fee, and if possible, depending on the scholarship, it would cover stipend as well. So all of these three will be in one. But if not, if it is self-funded, then most time the schools expect that you will fund it. And so that means when you're getting your admission, if your tuition is say maybe 15,000, your bench fee, I do know a school, the bench fee is like 5,000. They will be adding the bench fee. So the total amount is what they will tell you, which will be like £20,000, for example, and somebody else studying, doing PhD in the same university, but not within a course that is related to lab work, will probably pay less than what you would be paying. Now, that brings me to something I would say is, if you come in self-funded for something like, and this is not even just research or individuals that are doing research within, sciences that are related to bench work or stuff like that, even just your PhD, any PhD, what I would advise is, as soon as you get in, you should start to look for grant opportunities. The reason I say that is I know somebody who got PhD, who did their PhD and still got thousands of pounds in grants. And in fact, their PhD was funded, but the PhD was part funded. So the PhD covered tuition, but they were able to get really huge amount of money in grants that they used to complete to do their field work. Usually, you want to get grants, or you want to request for grants before you start your data collection. You absolutely want to do that, because what happens is, once you start your data collection, most of these grants awarding body would not want to give you, because you have already collected your data. So even though with the bench fee conversation, you most likely will either have it paid for if you're getting scholarship, or if you're doing self-funded, it will be calculated as part of your tuition. So you may have paid it, but you can actually get grants that will pay you back that money that you have already paid. All you have, because like I said, the main thing is, don't start yet. Once you start, and that means for even for sciences, it's not the day you get into your PhD program, you go into lab, and you may go into lab, but there are some studies or tests or research that you will not be doing yet, because those ones, maybe you need a huge reagent, you need a big machine and all of these things. So it may be coming in your second or third year before you get to, did I say third year? Most likely second year, before you get to use those things and spend those amount. So what you want to do is, as soon as you come in on your program, your first year, you want to start applying for these opportunities. They will give you, or most likely they will consider giving you, if you have not collected your data. Once you've collected your data, or you've done your big test, they most likely would decline it. One of my PhD students, I actually tried applying. She's a physiotherapist. So she wanted to get this British physiotherapy funding, was about £25,000. Good money. And it was very promising, because they liked her project and all of that. But they didn't, and just to say, the project was in Nigeria. So you may think, they're not going to, my society may not fund me because it's not within the country. I'm doing my project in Nigeria. Her project was situated in Nigeria, but they still wanted to fund it. But unfortunately, by the time we put all the documents together, long story short, they found out she's already done her data collection. So she was trying to get the money retrospectively, something she's already spent money for. She now wants to get it back. That did not work. It is before that you have that opportunity to be considered for it. So I don't know if that answered the question. It's a long, winding response, but I hope that covers it. Have I got any other question, comments? Hi, Prince.
Hi, Dr. Paula.
Nice to hear you again after a long time. Hope you're good.
Hello, right? Yeah, I am. Trust you are doing great too.
Nice.
So I am only coming to ask for my share of the £1,000.
Okay, that's nice. That's really nice. That was like in 2015, I got that money. So that's like 9 years ago. I'm sure at this point, the 1,000 will probably, if it was crawling, it's definitely crawled away. But I remember getting that money. I was able to I got hotel from it. I traveled the project I wanted to go and do was in London, feeding and all of that. It was quite good. But really, it wasn't even the immediate benefit of spending £1,000. I didn't even finish it. I spent 600 and something pounds and then returned the rest because they would take it back. But it wasn't even that immediate benefit. I ate all the rubbish. I remember some food that, as an international student, we're broke, came in broke. So things that I couldn't afford, but within those days, it was like, how many days? I think it was like 3 or 4 days trip. I was able to indulge. I bought, kebab of how much, pizza, just anything. Meanwhile, normally I wouldn't go to those things because I couldn't afford them. But I just went spending. But it wasn't even the immediate gratification, like I said. It was the benefit or the value that it added to me in terms of my career. Because, like I said, those are the things that I wrote about for my PhD scholarship. And so that's kind of like the reason I'm saying look into it. Oh, and I also forgot actually just to mention that you can also get enterprise. You can also think of enterprise or entrepreneurial opportunities. So that means if you have significant or you have something, valuable in terms of business idea, this is something you may also want to consider. The most schools, again, like I said, would have career or enterprise units. The enterprise units, they are always looking for business ideas that they can, help you. They will help you write your business development plan, your case studies, do your survey, like so many things, register your company, so long as they can see value in what you're doing or what you want to do. So that's also something you may want to consider. You come into the UK and you're thinking, there's this is an issue. I can actually address it this way. And then you can get support. So one of my students, she is still my student. We're still working together, but she's really close to the end of her PhD, right? So she has decided to develop her PhD into a business idea. And now what she wants to do is to use what she's developed in the PhD to support small charity organization and do some analysis and whatnot for them. I'm not going to bore you with the details. But what that means is she was able to get through to the career team, the enterprise team, and they sat down with her. So the reason I knew was because they actually contacted me and asked me that because she's my PhD student, are they allowed to convert our research into business idea? Because obviously the research is intellectual property of the university. And I had to give them, sort of like my take on what they can use and what they can't use and all of those other information. But really what I want to pull out is she is now able to design, she's now been able to design her PhD project into business opportunity that she is hopefully by the time, I don't know, maybe by this time next year, she's probably going to be richer. Well, she's richer than me, I'm sure, even now. But she's probably going to be in thousands of pounds, hundreds of thousands of pounds because of that. So that being said, if you think you have idea that you can convert into opportunity for entrepreneurial, please go ahead. That would also be something. Okay.
Yeah. So
sorry, Prince.
I want to continue by saying congratulations on your 10 years of being in the UK and then all the impact that you've actually made in the lives of those who have passed under your supervision, your tutelage. Honestly,
thank you.
If I were to be doing your lane in terms of academia and in terms of your research interest, then I would have loved to be supervised by you. But unfortunately, I am an agric person. Yes, I am an agric person. So those health stuff, I'm somewhat unconcerned about them.
Oh, thank you. I wish you could tell this to some of my supervision students because some of them feel like I'm trouble. No, I should record this and send this to them.
Exactly. you
But
could crop this part of the space and then you could send it to them so that they listen. Because honestly, it's a privilege. It's
I
a
really
privilege,
appreciate. I really appreciate.
especially coming from the backdrop of you having gone through the mill,
Yeah.
starting out as one of them,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can better understand their situation. If for nothing at all, they could hop on your page on here, go through your post, and then see and position themselves so that they can better relate with what you tell them, how you go about supervising them, and yeah, they would see how lucky and fortunate they actually are. All
Wow.
right. So there's
Oh, I
another thing I
appreciate.
would want to talk about. So with regards to the fact that there are certain opportunities or certain blessings that I think are dependent on location.
Yeah.
Why am I saying that? So there's someone, a Kenyan YouTuber that I follow.
Mm-hmm.
She does lots of content on travel and all of that. And then there was a day I watched one of her videos where she shared the fact that there are organizations that actually periodically do draws where people enter into those draws, and then if you happen to be selected as a winner, sometimes it's free trip. So you could see maybe free trip to Romania and then all of that. And I have subscribed to some of them, but anytime they send notification, because I'm subscribed, and so they send me the newsletters, and then if they are draws, I'm amongst the very few people who get notified early. Yet I'm not eligible because for the ones that I see, yes, you should be present in there. A lot of, I think about 60% of the notifications that I received are for people who are presently in the UK. And so that is where location also comes to play. That aside, I have realized one thing, even with those of us who are here in Africa and then who have schooled here or who are still schooling here, most of the times I see students and then I ask them, okay, so what school are you in? They mention the name of the university. The next question I ask is, when was the last time you visited your school's website? Most of them have no idea what the school's website even is. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying that because I keep telling people that there are a lot of money. There's actually a lot of money on campus. When I was in the university doing my BSc, I was on 2 scholarships from my first year to my final year. And these opportunities were opportunities I saw on the school's website, and the Student Financial Services Office was like my second lecture hall. I was always there looking at the announcements that have been pasted on the notice board,
constantly updating and checking to see if anything has been added.
Exactly. So you could land a scholarship to go study abroad, or you could get an assistantship or whatever. But then you will restrict yourself, or you would limit yourself where you do not take the pain to spend a bit of time on your school's website, especially the financial aid or award section of the website. So that I always say, if you want what others do not have, then you should be willing to do what others are not willing to do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. One of the scholarships I was on, we were actually the very first cohort of awardees, and afterwards it became popular.
Yeah, and then you have more and more people.
It could be that this is a scholarship. It's the very first time they are awarding, and so maybe it could be worth about £15,000. But in subsequent years, maybe due to the number of awardees, it could
go down.
10,000. But because you were amongst the early recipients, you would have gotten most of
The
the
best of the
sweetness
best.
of
Yeah.
exactly. And so we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional. And I loved the point you made with regards to the conferences. Honestly, it puts you out there. Myself, when I got the opportunity to be in Montreal in 2022.
Yeah, remember you went to Canada, didn't you?
Yes. After that, now I have friends from all over. I have friends who keep on pulling me, Prince, when are you visiting our continent? Like I have friends from all continents of the world. And it's worth it. It's worth it because we live in a global village where we should be globally minded and globally focused.
And connected if possible.
Exactly. It might be that one business partner who you would enter into contract with, through whom that relationship, your business would go global.
Expand, yep.
Probably you or she is in some different part of the world, but then because there were opportunities that you could have capitalized on and then put yourself out there, and then you didn't leverage on that, you would be limited. And so we have to be intentional as young people and as Africans. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. And I really appreciate all of the submission that you've added. And just to say that, honestly, part of the reasons why I'm doing this, to be honest, I mean, everyone is busy. I am also very busy. I say that, very busy, but I feel like these opportunities or these things, information literally passes by. I'm in the system and there are some things that I hear and I'm thinking, oh, I'm sure students know, oh, I'm sure people know. And then you find out hardly anyone knows about it. So, excuse me. I appreciate and I hope I will be able to create more and more time. I was very active at some point and then I ran away, but now I feel like I'm the prodigal child. I'm back. So yeah, hopefully I get to do more and more of this. The more we push these opportunities, the more, people like us, our own, are able to assess them. And yeah, we just lift ourselves up. That being said, I think somebody is asking here, the grants, I hope they are not public funds. Oh, the grants I mentioned. So yeah, no, they are not public funds. They are available and should be accessible by you and as an international student. And I think that's also something, there are opportunities that sometimes we may come across and we're thinking, oh, they may not be available to me. If you're not sure, please ask instead of just, disqualifying yourself and say, oh no, I'm sure this is not for me, or I don't think this is for me, and you just let it go. Ask, like I said, you do have career teams that in your university most likely that can give you that information and confirm to you if or not, but most time it will be accessible, or the very grant that I mentioned. This one is the Satanda grant, is for university students. This is open to any student. Your immigration status does not have anything to do with it at all. But if there are other grants you're not sure, you always ask. Especially if you have grants that are not that are not university based, and they are not government based, they are society based, like, maybe Cancer Research UK, maybe, I'm saying this because health field, that's what I know. So apologies. But societies within your field, most likely they will not be based on your immigration status, and it will not be classed as public fund. So don't get worked up about that. Apply. And again, if you're not sure, ask somebody. You can ask, people like us will probably be able to tell you. But your university most likely would also be able to tell you. But again, don't let opportunities pass you by because you're worried it's not accessible by yourself, and then you disqualify yourself and that opportunity goes. But yeah, so no, it's not public fund. I've said that again. You're covered in that space. Okay, short and I hope sweet. If not, forgive me. But I think that this is the end of this space. If there's no any other addition, takeaway, I thank you for even sparing a minute of your time to listen to this voice. I don't know how you do it. I talk a lot, but I don't like hearing my voice. So I don't like listening to my recording. And I think many people don't as well. I'm one of them. I just don't like hearing myself. So when I hear someone, or when I feel I feel some sort of pity to people that actually listen to me. But then I always talk, so I know a lot of people have to listen to me. So thank you for listening to me. I have a request. I'm going to take that before I go. Excuse me. I did say that I was sick. I'm still sick. So sorry for the coffee, chesty, scratchy, and everything else. I had a request. Is the person gone? Are they here? What's happening? Okay, maybe network. I thought I accepted the request. Or they've changed their mind. In that case, if there's no any other question, this is probably one of the shortest spaces I've had ever. Normally my space would go 5, 6, even longer hours. But I'm so happy this is wrapping up within an hour. Because one, I'm not feeling too well, and then two, I think we went through everything. I have another request. Is it my network? Maybe it's my. Okay.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good day, sir. Yeah, good day.
Please, can I go ahead?
Yes, please go on.
Yes, I came here very late, so I did not know what actually has passed before I joined this space. But actually, I've watched some of your YouTube channel, and I've at least have some ideas. But I'm thinking, I don't know if possible, if I could get your personal name so that I could ask my personal questions.
Okay, very personal, isn't it? That's interesting.
Not that personal, but just personal to me, actually.
The personal of the personal. There are personals in the personal. So what I will probably say first is if you can kindly send me a message, my DM is open. I say that I'm trying to go through my messages. There are quite a lot of them, but I would most likely say if you can send me a message in there. Now, at least I know your name, so I would fish it out quicker.
Okay, I'm trying to do that. It's saying I should subscribe. I should
subscribe.
Like
me
get it verified. Yes.
No.
That's what I said. You cannot message this user because you are not verified. That's what I've been saying. That's why I could not send any messages.
Oh, really? Okay, that's news to me. I'm very sure my account is wide open, and I receive so many messages almost all the time.
The two of you should follow each other.
Oh, okay, I see. I see. So, Sap, if you can go ahead, then I will be able to access it. Because I know people message me all the time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Anything else or anybody else? Okay. So thank you very much, everybody. I would say have a good day, evening, night. Hey, Waka Waka Doctor. Gosh, thank you. Good day, good evening. I was just about wrapping up. Thank you for joining on Instagram. Thanks, Doc. It's been almost 10 years. I know it's been forever. I just went hibernate and now I'm sort of like coming back slowly but surely. Thank you so much, Doc. All right, everybody on Twitter, thank you. I will say have a good evening. Bye-bye. Oh. Okay. Thank you so much, Doc. I've just finished my space. I was kind of like streaming on Instagram as well. I really appreciate. Thank you. Yeah, trying to be back. It's been ages. Well done, Doc. Hopefully we can catch up soon. All right. Cheers. Bye-bye. How do I? Yep. And.